Hello and welcome to Real Recollections,
That's not how I remember it.
where we revisit all of our favorite childhood entertainment and see if it holds up against our jaded adult lives.
This season, we'll be rediscovering all of Disney's animated classics, and today we're covering Dumbo. Here we go!
The elephants
Oh my goodness. Now we go to our local cartoon expert with our plot in a pinch.
Roll the camera, Sam!
When Mrs. Jumbo unwraps her special delivery, she finds he's all ears. Though she loves him, others find Dumbo's ears to be a feature that only a mother can love. When Mrs. Jumbo's motherly instincts get her thrown into jail, Dumbo must rely on the help of one small mouse and a murder of crows to rescue her and find his wings.
Thank you, Sally. That was great. Now that you know the basic plot, here's how we remembered Dumbo when we were children. Or younger.
Or younger. Younger than children when we were babies, or just a twinkle in our mother's eye way back then.
I guess it was a slip of the tongue.
That was my favorite time, watching Dumbo from inside mother.
I really understood the baby to mom relationship
When I was just in a handkerchief.
The womb. When you were in the handkerchief being brought by the stork to come to mom, it's a really special viewing. It's a really special time to
you
view.
guys should have tried it. You can't try it now. I mean, unless you're listening from your little handkerchief.
Not many people have memories in the sack. The handkerchief sack, I mean. But, I mean, a few do, and those who do, I think they would really enjoy recollecting Dumbo at that time.
Anywho, how do you remember Dumbo when you were a kid, Jonah?
How do I remember Dumbo?
Yes.
I remember we didn't watch it very much.
I remember the opposite. Good.
I don't remember watching Dumbo very much, and I remember that it was because of the same reason we never watched Bambi, and that was because it was too sad.
Yeah, that's true. Dumbo is really sad.
I don't know. Okay, so I have all these memories. So I'm one of the youngest in our family. Most of my memories regarding movies is me wanting to watch the movie and my older siblings telling me, no, that I don't want to watch that movie right now. And they give me some lame reason.
Whoa, excuse me.
Which Mary denies. Okay, but what I do actually remember of Dumbo is that I liked Baby Mine. And actually, when I was younger, Mary would sing that to me.
I did.
As a lullaby. A lot. Yeah. And I didn't realize where it was from. I thought Mary had maybe even made it up.
I'm not that special. I got it out of a book, actually, because I didn't remember it from Dumbo.
You are that special.
Oh, well, gee, thanks, Jonah. Let's just wipe away a tear here.
Oh, we still have that music book. It's downstairs.
Yeah.
But you learned it out of a music book?
I think so. Or I think Aaron played it for me on the piano, our older brother. Well, you heard him last week, right? Fantasia.
Oh, yeah, you heard him.
Aaron, missed that guy. But yeah, so...
I love that song, and I loved the mouse. Actually, I thought the mouse was in it a lot more than he was.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Timothy.
I remember, out of the ones we've watched, I feel like I watched Dumbo more than the others. Or at least it had a bigger impact on me. Because...
More than Snow White and...
I think so.
I have way more memories of Snow White than any of the other ones we've watched.
I mean, it was a princess movie, so princess movies kind of got precedence, I feel like.
I felt like when we watched Snow White, I almost remembered every single joke before it happened.
Really?
And I loved that.
I don't know. I just feel like I remembered more about Dumbo than the others in some ways.
That's fine. I'm not saying you didn't.
Maybe it's from all the times I watched it before. We wouldn't let you watch anything.
Yeah, maybe it's all from your time in the handkerchief.
Back when you were a disenfranchised child.
Smelling the breath of the stork.
Oh my gosh.
That was carrying you.
But yeah.
What do you remember, Mary?
Tell
me.
I remember the baby mine scene and just all the cute parts with the mom and Dumbo. And it's hard to love Dumbo. He's so sweet.
Yeah. He's pure.
And I remember as a kid just really feeling for him. But I also remember it was scary. I remember all of the Disney movies being much scarier than they are, obviously, now.
If you haven't gotten that yet by her saying that literally every single
time, I was like, it's less scary than I remember. Maybe I was just a terrified kid.
In the next episode, you can just say that first and we can get out of the way. Like, this movie was really scary when I was a kid. Okay.
But now it's not. Here's all the parts that were scary to me when I was a child. No, but I think, like everyone, the Pink Elephants on Parade thing was really trippy. You're always like, I don't know, you feel like they've done something wrong, even though, anyway, we'll talk about it, I guess, when we get there, but now it's much more funny. But at the time, I was like, oh, what have they done? What have they summoned to this world? What else do I remember? I think that's pretty much it. And then singing Baby Mine, which I later connected to Dumbo. But it wasn't necessarily connected to him for me early.
Seems kind of fishy that you remember a lot of things from Dumbo, but you don't remember the biggest song and most memorable song of Dumbo.
Well, I remember that part of the movie, but, like, she doesn't sing it, and I think it makes it harder to, like, remember the song. I mean, she sings it, but her mouth doesn't move. Do you know what I'm saying?
We don't see her mouth. Her mouth may well be moving.
Okay,
Mary.
I'm not arguing this with you. But the point is,
you're ruining the magic. You're ruining the magic.
Moving on.
Ruining the magic. Let's move on.
So that was how we remembered Dumbo when we were kids. And now we're gonna move on to how it was made.
Yep. So Dumbo was the little elephant that saved Disney because Fantasia and Pinocchio, like we talked about, lost tons and tons and tons of money.
Yes.
And I'm sure Walt Disney was about pulling his hair out. He needed to have some sort of income while he was working on his
all
baby.
His passion projects.
Bambi. Yeah, his passion projects. I don't know if we should call them that.
What?
I don't know. Passion projects?
That's true. He loved Bambi.
He did love Bambi, but maybe not that much.
Yeah, Dumbo had an $800,000 budget, which was less than a third of the budget for Pinocchio. So this was supposed to be a movie on the cheap, using the skills they already had. They weren't trying to experiment, just trying to get a movie out.
Get a story together and make some money.
Exactly.
And ultimately, they really succeeded. Dumbo was a huge success.
Yeah. They really went for character over new special effects in this case.
Which definitely helped them, because special effects are so expensive.
Yeah, the story was actually based on a roll-a-book. Yeah, so I bet you all knew what that is. We can just move on. Don't need to explain a roll-a-book. Y'all have like 16 of those on your shelf.
I'm getting... oh my goodness. Why is it slipping my mind right now? It's on the tip of my brain.
I don't know.
Multiplane camera.
Oh.
I'm getting multiplane camera vibes right now about the roll-a-book.
About the roll-a-book.
Nobody knows what a roll-a-book is. Because there's only ever one published, and it wasn't Dumbo.
Yep. I can't even remember what the one that was published was, but it was like more of like an adventure book.
Yeah. Anyways, basically a roll-a-book is like a scroll in a box.
Yeah.
That has a little hole in the box so you can see the pictures as they come by.
It's like a TV that you have to crank.
Yeah.
And
it's
read.
Like a book that's harder to turn the pages. Anyways,
so we don't understand why this didn't work out. Why this failed as a concept.
I don't know why they only ever had one published. Dumbo was a roller-book, and you actually probably it's really expensive to try to get that roller-book. You can't even find pictures of it online. There's only like 1 or 2 pictures that anyone can find.
Disney claims they don't even have the original roller-book.
That's how rare it is.
Yeah.
So if you have this roller-book, I mean, sell it.
Sell it and
make yourself a nice little penny.
Money. Go look through your shelves, everybody. If you find a weird little rolling book thing, maybe you should sell it.
Or you can donate it to us, and we can sell it for you.
I mean, if you feel like it. We promise the money will be used for good things.
But the storyline follows the roller book pretty closely, except for Timothy's a sparrow.
Yes.
And not a mouse. But I like that change because it has more connection to elephants, because elephants are supposedly afraid of mice.
Well, also in the book, we heard about it, they kind of talked about how the sparrow doesn't come until much later and everything either. I mean, it's a picture book. It's 8 pages long? Is that what they said?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, so the sparrow, But it actually follows it really closely, and even if they didn't, I mean, who's going to be upset? The 1 or 2 people who read the Dumbo Rolla book,
which wasn't published. So it's only the few little books that were made in the starting to become published. I don't know why I can't think of a better way to say that than that.
Maybe it was on the coming soon shelf or something
like that. Anyway, a lot of people said that this cartoon kind of had a New York energy to it, because it kind of had a lot of New York cartoonists on it, and you can kind of feel that in the way all the caricatures and cartoonishness of it.
Well, Joe Grant, who was the most influential on the storyboard other than Walt and Dick Humor, he was from NYC, right?
Yeah, he was.
And didn't they go get him for Dumbo, or was that at a different time?
I think
I might be confusing something.
I vaguely remember something like that, but I'm not sure if it was Joe Grant or somebody else. I know that they had to coax someone to come work for them, but I don't think it was Joe Grant.
Yeah, so anyways, it's said to have a New York energy, and I can really sense that, actually.
Jonah lived in New York for 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, of course, New York was probably different in 1941.
Yeah. But it kind of has that really vivacious, energized feeling about it.
Not unsettled, but wanting to move,
Yeah, exactly. The anxious to get moving and everything. Yeah. And when it was actually written by Joe Grant and Dick Humor, and you can't make up that name. That's his name.
That's his real name.
That's his real name.
Dick Humor. I don't know what his parents were thinking. Maybe you pronounce
Well, their last name was Humor, so
Maybe it was a joke.
Maybe. Well, maybe his full name is Richard and they call him Dick. Isn't that a thing?
Maybe.
No, we have a grandpa whose name...
no, you're right. You're right. But
so it's Richard Humor. Oh, yeah. Who knows? But anyway, they wrote the story, the adaptation, and they actually released it to Walt 1 chapter at a time, which I think is just so delightful. So 1 chapter at a time, they would release the story, and they would have little notes in it that said things like, "Reader, don't read on unless you want to cry and be sad," and obviously written a lot better than that.
Very Princess Bride-esque.
Yeah, or Lemony Snicket, right?
Snicket, yeah.
If you go on, I can't promise what will happen. And they would put little pictures in the margins of teardrops and things like that. So I think they really caught Walt's eye with
a really fun time with it.
Yeah.
With that, and that also translated to the animators who were on the project. So you may have heard of the 9 Old Men before. Those were actually not the original animators that Disney had. They were animators that came a little later that were kind of known more for their finesse.
They were more high artists, sort of.
Artists,
yes.
We draw the right physicality for deer. So they were
Watch us next week just flip completely and be those people on Dumbo didn't know what they were doing.
We know the anatomy and bone structure of a deer. So highbrow animators.
But they were known for their finesse and beauty, whereas these animators were the ones that worked on the original cartoons, right?
The Silly Symphonies and the original Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, Goofy cartoons.
So you've got those slapstick humor and that kind of very cartoonish energy, which you see in Dumbo. Dumbo is an unapologetic cartoon.
Yeah.
It's not trying to be something else. It is a cartoon for children with all that fun stuff thrown in.
Absolutely. And one of our favorite animators is on Dumbo. His name is Bill Titla. I think we've talked about him before. But he was the animator for Stromboli, Turnabog, and guess what? Dumbo.
I never thought I would have a favorite animator. I'd be I really like that guy's work. And now I do. I love Bill Titla's work. And I love that he based Dumbo's expressions and everything on his 2-year-old son, Peter. I think that's so sweet. And you can kind of see that in the piece.
Yeah, I just think it's kind of funny that he's known for making these really strong male characters and making them big and
heavy,
moving with power. And then he makes probably the most raw and, what's the word I'm looking for? Vulnerable character that, at least in the golden ages, we see in Disney, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, who's helping Dumbo out? A mouse. I mean, his literal only advocate is a mouse. I mean, so he's kind of tough, and I think he really captured his babiness, because he's probably the youngest Disney protagonist. This child is days old.
Yeah.
How many Disney protagonists are that old?
Bambi.
Fine. But he also sees them through his whole life. You know what? You
Boom.
just stop it. I hate that you had to answer that so fast. But yeah, and they didn't go with many special effects. They didn't go for like heavy oils in the backgrounds. They did like light watercolors. But when it was released 2 months before Pearl Harbor was bombed.
Right, and when it came out, it was actually so popular, Time magazine was going to put Dumbo on its front cover. But then Pearl Harbor happened,
and it took a little more precedence.
Yes, of course that didn't happen. Pearl Harbor was way more important to have on Time magazine than an imaginary elephant who can fly. But a lot of people think that if that hadn't happened, Dumbo may have been even more successful and gotten even more money. But because America was joining World War II at that time, I think its growth was a little bit stunted.
Yeah. But it made back all the money to make it plus some. Which is why it was so good that they made it such a small amount that they used for the budget, so that then they could make money on it.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that without Pinocchio and Fantasia, Disney wouldn't be what it is today, but without Dumbo, there would be no Disney.
Yeah, they would have gone under.
There would be no Disney.
Oh my god.
There would be no Disney.
That was English. Yeah, and I mean, yeah, we really needed it. And it got an Academy Award for musical score, and it was nominated for Baby Mine, even though it didn't get it for that song. It's the shortest of all the Disney films.
It wasn't just nominated for Best Score, it received.
Yeah, I said it.
Did you? Okay.
I thought I did. If I didn't, I'm saying it now.
It received the
Academy Award for Best Score.
Ironically, the movie they spent the least money on was nominated and won the most awards.
Did it?
Because this has two.
I mean, Snow White got an honorary Oscar.
Honorary. It doesn't count if it's honorary. That means it's fake. It's made up.
It just means it's honorary. It literally has honor in the title.
The statue had 7 little dwarves on it.
Oh my goodness.
7 little tiny statues on it. So
anyway, it's the shortest though of all the films. It's only 60 minutes long. How many movies have you gone to recently that are only 60 minutes long? None.
Yeah.
And RKO, their distributor, said this has to be longer. And Walt really stuck to his guns and was like, no, we've already stretched this 9-page picture book to be a 60-minute long movie. We can't stretch it anymore without spending tons more money.
Yeah.
And so
I just
we're releasing
think it's funny.
it as
They're
is.
like, we're going to make a 60-minute film that's just like really straight on with the story, and somehow they find a 4-minute segment for the strangest scene in Disney history almost, with pink elephants. What the heck happened?
I know. They're like, this is important to the plot.
I mean,
the Salvador Dali inspired.
That's how he gets lost onto the tree and meets the crows.
But yeah.
But it's just so weird. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
But Pink Elephants was actually a parody on a kind of surrealism by Salvador Dali. And it was actually so popular in Dumbo that they did it again in Winnie the Pooh. With
Heffalumps and
Woozles. Yeah, that is also a weird musical number.
It's true. Speaking of Winnie the Pooh, the voice of Winnie the Pooh is in this movie.
Yep.
Yeah, the stork from the beginning voiced Winnie the Pooh and the Cheshire Cat and Caw the snake. You recognize his voice.
Several different. He has an awesome voice. I love
really
his voice.
distinctive. But yeah, so that was how Dumbo was made.
Yeah, and here's what we thought. Well, we watched it now as a jaded adults.
I love that we're self-proclaimed jaded adults.
It makes us edgy.
Oh my gosh, which we have to work really hard at because it doesn't come naturally. So, what do you think about the beginning, Jonah?
The beginning's my favorite part. I know it's funny to say the end was my favorite part, but the beginning is probably my favorite part with the stork song. I think is really fun.
I know. Well, I love that it starts with that very like wartime.
Oh yeah. It's a very striking beginning. You probably think you're getting into something that you didn't sign up for. I was like, I thought I was watching a show about a baby elephant.
Okay, let's go.
And then you're hearing plane sounds, and then it goes into this nice little look out for Mr. Stork.
And it's actually really pretty. With all the storks like very peacefully.
And they're like synchronized flying.
I know. It's so beautiful. Are the storks all wearing uniforms in that scene?
No. It's only the special one.
That special one has so many special things about that. We're going to get into it.
Yeah.
And then he delivers all those animals. What's your favorite animal he delivers?
Oh, yeah. Hippopotamus.
Well, I asked Jonah during the movie, I was like, what's your favorite animal? And he was like, the hippo. And what's funny is that was always my favorite animal for some reason. Something special about them dropping that hippo into the water and then him just settling right next to his brothers and sisters and going to sleep.
I think it has something to do with we love the hippos at our zoo.
Yeah. Well, actually, when I was a kid, I hated the hippos at our zoo.
Really? I loved them.
Did you? I did not. Which is why it's funny to me, because I used to call the room where you would go in, I used to call it the smelly room. Because it smelled horrible in there. And
Mary, be nice to the hippopotami.
I used to be really, really kind of a brat about it. I would like cover my mouth the whole time while we were in there. And when I would come out, I would go, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I was a delightful child.
Mary, you were so much. Yeah, but I love that sequence, and I think it was really clever the way that they use visual storytelling with Mrs. Jumbo.
Yeah.
Reaching for the sacks and not ever quite getting one. And
I know.
You immediately connect to her. You know what her goals are. You know what she's dreamed for.
She's longing for her baby.
She's dressed like a mom.
It's just so sweet.
In a circus, you know? I don't know why she's there.
I don't know either.
She deserves better.
She deserves better than the circus. But yeah, she is so sweet. And then you get the whole beginning of Casey Jr., right?
No.
No.
And then it goes to the stork. Oh yeah, you do get the beginning.
I think you get Casey Jr. first, right?
You're right.
Yeah,
I just wanted to say you're wrong again.
I know you do. So quick to snap about how you're wrong.
Bambi.
But you get Casey Jr., which I always thought was super cool when I was a kid. I loved Casey Jr.
The whistle talking is pretty cool.
Yeah, the Casey Jr.
Here we go.
Yes. Well, I always loved the little engine who could, so there was that special connection as well.
Yeah, did they buy the rights for that storybook?
Yeah, when they just threw it in there a little bit. I thought I could.
Was that the published roller book?
But yeah, I love Casey Jr. I love that song. It's one of my favorites in the movie, I think.
I thought I could.
Yeah. And it's fun the way that they do the country, too, with, like, the map. And then you see Casey Jr. coming across. It's just very whimsical, the whole thing.
Yeah, and that kind of brings us to the stork, which I think is hilarious. And I love that
favorite character other than
he's sitting on a cloud, which he may have started my dreams of walking on clouds, because that seems amazing. I don't know how they work exactly, because he sits on it just fine, but his package keeps sliding into the cloud terrifyingly.
Elephant. It's so heavy.
I guess it's heavier than him.
But it falls almost all the way through and he pulls it back up. So it must be like elastic almost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like a trampoline or something.
Yeah.
Anyways.
But it used to freak me out as a kid. I was like, oh my gosh, it's going to drop through the cloud.
Anyways, I thought it was really funny that he's like, where's this person? You can't find him. And then he looks down down, and it sees Florida, and Florida's just a map, and you see Casey Jr. going along.
They're like, oh,
there he is. I don't know why I didn't see it before.
Maybe that's why they do it that way. Maybe that's the way the storks see the world. That's their magic system, is that they can pull out that much.
And that they can carry baby elephants.
And that they can carry baby elephants and just deliver babies at all. But I think that the stork's really funny because either he's the only one who's good at his job or he's like way overboard on his job. Because you watch the first scene where like storks are coming through. First of all, none of them are in uniform. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, these are either the super slackers or just like this guy made his own uniform and was like, I am a stork and I'm going to change the way we do this.
Yeah.
And they just drop the animals. Like,
with parachutes.
That's true. But still, they just drop them off. They're like, yeah, I assume that's going to land in the right cage and everything. I assume there's some skill involved in this.
Yeah.
But when he comes, he lands on the train and carries it in his arms all the way over to Mrs. Jumbo, which he doesn't know which train car she's in. So there's already that.
Yes.
Happy to call out for her, Mrs. Jumbo.
Yeah, somehow he did not get like the insta recognition.
No.
Talent that the other birds did. But, I mean, he did sort of make up for being late by singing Happy Birthday and reading 2 poems to Mrs. Jumbo.
What? I'm pretty sure Mrs. Jumbo didn't want either of them, though. She's just like, I just want to unwrap my baby. Can you please leave? But no, he reads both poems, and then he sings Happy Birthday.
Oh, my goodness.
Which is how he learned that Dumbo's name is actually Jumbo.
Yeah.
Yeah, after his dad.
That's the only line that Mrs. Jumbo says.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, she says Jumbo.
Yep.
Oh, that's really sweet. But yeah, so I think I like to read it that he's just a little overexcited about his job. Or he's like that waiter that you get, you know, the really nice one who's not like the best waiter, but he's just so charismatic and that's how he gets his tips.
Yes, and you like him, but at the same time whenever he comes over, you're like, when are you going to go away? Nobody tell him it's your birthday.
Nobody tell him it's your birthday. But yeah, we love our waiters and waitresses, you know, very friendly, but at the same time,
leave us alone.
Leave us alone. Just a little friendly, and then, you know, we sound like the worst kind of people. But yeah,
then she gets to see her baby for the first time.
No.
And you have one sweet moment where
everyone is as proud of him.
Yeah, loves him just as much as she does. And then his ears come out.
And the thing that I don't understand about Dumbo, his ears come out. Everyone else's response is like, oh, the horror. And my response is adorable.
I know. And this is one of the biggest inconsistencies with the book, actually, is that the other elephants actually liked his big ears, and they thought it would make him grow into a nice big elephant.
That's right, in the original book, book.
But then he ends up never getting bigger.
Yeah.
And so he always ends up being this weird dwarf, large ears elephant.
Yeah, which kind of makes more sense in some way.
It does make more sense.
Yeah, but you'd have to show a lot more time passing for that to happen.
Yeah, I understand why they didn't. Plus, you relate a lot more to a baby then. Like, a baby being made fun of that has no control over its life yet.
And you're like, his ears are just big and adorable, and that's a problem? I don't understand.
I know.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I only see pluses to the situation.
I only see pluses to the situation. Big eyes, big ears, adorable.
I'm sure the first pug that was ever created with a tiny little snout was made fun of. And then it's like, yeah, but now everybody wants me, so back off.
Snap, snap. But yeah, so all the rest of the elephants start being their gossipy selves and start making fun of him. They don't call him Dumbo then, do they? That's later, isn't it?
I think it's the boy who pulls his tail and stuff. Harasses him.
More like Dumbo. Yeah. But
no, they do call him Dumbo. Now I'm having very clear memories of
it is the elephants, but I don't know when they do it. I think it might be later, though.
More like Dumbo.
I think it might be later.
I love that green elephant, by the way. She's my idol.
No, she's the worst. Jonah, she is the worst of them.
I got some news for you.
She's the only one. I think it's really interesting the way they did the different characters. I mean, they're definitely caricatured gossipy women,
everyone
right?
in this film is caricatured.
Yeah.
By an extreme degree. Even Dumbo is caricatured as a baby.
It's true. But you've got the older elephant who just like, we have standards and he doesn't fit our standards, right? And then you've got the giggly one who just says the dumbest, meanest things for no reason. He doesn't understand their meaning. She's like, what did I say? I just said he was ugly. I don't know why she's upset.
She's upset.
And then I think the green elephant's the worst because she's the one who's like, they put her in jail and now she's gonna be gone forever.
And she's so smug and happy about it.
I know.
She's just happy to have something juicy to talk about, which is why she's my idol.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just kidding.
Jonah's hero. Tell us which Gossip Girl is your favorite of these.
I got something to share with you.
Oh my gosh. Jonah, that's terrifying. And then you move on from that, of course, to just the sweetest scenes. All the scenes with Jumbo and his mom.
Mm-hmm.
Her tucking his little ears around him.
And then playing hide and seek.
Yeah, later with the bath, playing the hide and seek, which I have to say, that to me, you could tell that Bill Titla was basing it on his interactions with his son.
Yeah,
because that felt like playing with Anne when she was a baby. That's our little youngest sister. And it felt like running around with your little cousins or whatever and just playing with a little kid and how much joy you get it out of it. I don't know. It was just so sweet. I got a little tear in my eye, honestly, during that bath scene.
And then, of course, it all gets ruined.
Yeah. Like 3 seconds later. 3 seconds after you are crying with joy at this beautiful mother-son relationship.
I mean, it wouldn't really be a Disney film if he didn't lose his mom at some point during the movie. Or if when he was born, he didn't have a mom.
If he didn't have a mom.
He had a stepmom, or if his stepmom was mean. Then,
it's true. So it finally became a Disney movie when...
It got a stamp of approval.
But seriously, that kid who comes in and makes fun of Dumbo... What an idiot. Like, just in human terms.
I know.
He goes into an elephant enclosure himself.
I know. And he himself has big ears.
Yes.
It makes you think, because, people who get bullied usually end up being bullies.
I wonder if it was their subtle way of being like, look at this guy. He's making fun of Dumbo, but really, he has the same even feature. He has big ears. Yeah. So maybe he's just trying to redirect.
Yeah, it's very possible. That's deep, Mary.
I'm just saying.
On your essay for Dumbo,
I'm not writing an essay about Dumbo.
You should include that.
I will. I will include it in my scientific analysis of Dumbo.
I'm just trying to imagine doing anything scientific.
Wow! I don't appreciate how much you're laughing about that. I could definitely
I'm just kidding, you're very smart.
I'm wearing glasses right now.
Okay,
so,
that obviously makes you a scientist.
Obviously. Very smart, too.
Mary is very smart.
Now I feel like you're just throwing me a bone.
I want to take back everything I just say, and I want to say she really is wonderful and smart. So.
Wow. Actually, Jonah's complimented me a lot tonight in the midst of making fun of me. This is pretty much a relationship right here.
I think I have 2 compliments for 7 insults, so I'm doing pretty good.
You're doing pretty good right now, as long as you're within the 10, right?
Yeah. Yes, that's right.
That's right.
If I sandwich them.
Yeah, exactly. Every other one, something like that.
I love you, I hate 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 you, I love you.
You're right.
And it's fine.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. But yeah, so of course, this is the sad scene where Mrs. Jumbo goes mama elephant, mama bear, right? On the kid. Yeah. And actually, all she does is give him a good talking to. I guess she spanks him, right?
She does not talk to him.
No, she doesn't.
Mary's like, she didn't sing the song and she talked to the boy.
Well, she gives him a talking to in her elephant terms, in my opinion.
Well, she spanks him, if that's what you mean. Is, I guess talking to.
She's like, get out of here.
I would call that a beaten.
That's true.
And then she gets thrown into elephant jail.
I know. And called a mad elephant. So unfair.
And then that green elephant lady
is so happy about it. Ugh.
So happy to have news about that and to know about that. But that's when we meet Timothy.
Yeah, when they declare him, Dumbo is no longer an elephant.
Yeah. Timothy hears that he's outraged just like his mom. At least this world is filled with a couple people who are willing to help innocent babies born with large ears.
Yes. They actually do a really subtle musical thing. Did I tell you about this? When they're going from the two things.
Well, I know about the animation thing.
Oh, tell me about it.
Mrs. Jumbo is waving side to side.
In jail.
And she has the jail bars in front of her. And then they go to Dumbo. No, she has the jail bar shadow on her.
Okay.
Then they go to Dumbo, and Dumbo's also swaying from side to side. And he's in front of pinstripes. So it kind of has like this...
It's a really subtle
image.
They also switch it to minor there. So, like, there's kind of a Dumbo theme in the score. It's like, da-da-da-da-da, something like that. Anyway, don't quote me on that. But something like that.
I know
and
what you're talking about.
they take it at a much slower, like, minor key for it. Just really sad. Yeah, it's just really sad. Dumbo tries to go up, because he's just... The thing about Dumbo, I think that is so sad, is that he doesn't understand that people are making fun of him. He's a baby. So he just assumes the world all loves him the way his mother.
Parade.
Yeah.
And everyone's making fun of him, and he's like,
hi, and waving his little flag, because he's just a kid, and he just waves at them. And same thing with the redhead kid who makes fun of him. He just assumes the best of humanity. And I think this, to me, is the first time he realizes that people don't like him, or they're making fun of him. It breaks my heart.
That there's something wrong with him.
That there's something wrong with him. I don't think he really understood that until his mom was gone, and the other elephants won't accept him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luckily, he has good friends.
He has Timothy!
And Timothy is great.
Yeah, he is.
And he goes and he shows those large gossiping elephants a lesson.
I know. He's seriously very brave, I think.
He is brave.
Very brave.
I mean,
mouse.
it seemed like he knew that the elephants would be scared of him, though.
It's true.
And he also seems like a very outgoing, fearless kind of person. Anyways.
Yeah. Calling him on their crap, basically.
Still, but then he goes and he doesn't just get back to the elephants. He wants to help Dumbo.
Yeah, he's decided to kind of adopt him.
Even though he doesn't necessarily even know how to do it. You can tell he's like trying to be thoughtful, but he says a lot of things that still hurt Dumbo's feelings, and he takes them back. And I think
your ears are beautiful.
They're beautiful.
Yeah, I think he doesn't even know what to do with the ears.
Hesitation there, and he's like, Dumbo, look great. Great what?
I don't know. But I think it's really subtle and really sweet the way that, he kind of, first of all, Timothy coaxes him out really sweetly, which I think is cute. But then when Dumbo starts following him, he wraps his little trunk around Timothy's tail the way that he holds onto his mom's tail. It just kills me. Just a subtle way. I mean, he's just like, oh, well, this is my protector now, I
know.
So sweet. But yeah. And Timothy comes up with the great idea of a giant pyramid. Well, I guess he doesn't come up with that idea, but he comes up with the idea that Dumbo will be the climax. Of this thing. And he does the first inception before inception. And plants the idea of this.
Which calls into question, like, can the animals in Dumbo communicate verbally to the humans?
Yes, I wondered that.
Because Timothy can talk to the guy, at least in his sleep.
He can talk to the circus master. And also, these elephants and everything, they all seem to have a really big part in the circus. They're not just... I mean, they're kept in, like, cages and things. But there's that one ape, right, who pulls the thing out and then puts it back in.
They seem kind of like employees almost of the circus.
Yeah, because, I mean...
They help put up the tent in the beginning as well.
And everything. So they almost seem like they're working as, like, partners in this world with the humans.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's never quite established.
I feel like they didn't really think through it that
No, I don't think so either. I think the humans in general are seen as antagonists and not kind in this world.
Yes.
Yeah. So Disney went through a phase of that, apparently, because there's this and then Bambi. So.
Yeah, but I suppose you're right. Timothy is partially to blame for
the chaos that ensues.
Yes.
Yeah. Here's my thing. They do this pyramid with Dumbo. And they're like Timothy is explaining to Dumbo what he's going to do. And I'm like, they didn't practice?
I know.
They didn't practice this ginormous pyramid balanced on a ball with all these elephants and him jumping somehow with some sort of strength in his little elephant legs off this little platform onto it.
Nobody foresaw him tripping over his ears.
That
already happened 3 times in the movie.
That wasn't the only problem with this pyramid, is what I'm saying.
There were many problems. One of the biggest problems is that the elephants couldn't hardly even do it.
Yes.
It's not a stable landing place.
Oh my gosh.
It was never meant to be. And poor Dumbo's sadly waving his broken flag
afterwards.
at the end.
After he tears down the whole circus, apparently they just had a backup tent.
Yeah.
Waiting. Or they repaired it. Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he's relegated to the clowns.
He gets given to the clowns.
And the clowns are mean. Not cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe this is my start of slight fear for clowns. Maybe everyone started their fear for clowns right here. With these mean clowns.
It's very possible. It's very possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
It probably had little or nothing to do with it.
Wow, Jonah just had to find another opportunity to say,
One more little job.
Make sure you sandwich something good in after that.
However, because of this great failure, we do get one of the most beautiful songs in Disney movies.
Because Dumbo's feeling real sad about everything, and Timothy knows just what will help him. He says, let's go see your mom.
Luckily, she's allowed to have visitors.
You know? Yeah. Well, I guess who can stop them?
But not allowed to see him. Because she can't see him through the bars. I think that's part of the thing that makes it so heartbreaking.
I read something about it, about how it could have looked so silly because it's just a snake-like trunk thing coming down. But the way that they animated and the actions that they did with it, it made it just so lovely.
And gentle and...
Honestly, it got me. The moment when Dumbo's like, they're so happy to see each other and, you know, her trunk goes around his face. And then he goes from smiling to, like, breaking down and, like, burying his face in her trunk. Oh, it's just so sad.
I know. It's hard to handle. And that's why nobody ever let me watch Dumbo.
Right there.
That moment, I think.
And then that last goodbye, too. So after this whole song.
And then they wave goodbye. And then she goes to the other window and waves goodbye again.
And you just know that she loves him so much.
She doesn't want to let go.
And you see the unfairness because you see all the other animals just sleeping with their moms and dads and just heartbreaking. Honestly, I think it's the best scene in the movie.
It is. It's beautifully done.
Yeah.
It is, for me, I feel like I don't have enough time to relish in that moment because we go straight from that to pink elephants.
It's funny that you're saying that because I'm always the one that's like, it wasn't enough.
The end of Pinocchio was enough, Mary, and we can just leave it at that, okay? It was enough. Pinocchio's perfect. There's nothing wrong with that movie.
Okay.
But the fact that you go from Baby Mine to pink elephants within seconds.
That's true.
Maybe a minute.
Look at it. Yeah, there's a minute. Because she's crying, remember? He's like crying about
And then he drinks the wine and then they start it, don't they?
Yeah. Well, yeah. She's crying. He's like, don't cry. Your mom wouldn't want you to cry. And here, have a drink and you'll feel better. And then, of course, he takes several long swigs of champagne, right?
Yeah.
Straight through his trunk, which I don't think that was anatomically.
Yeah, I don't think they knew the bone structure and functions of the elephant.
Of an elephant. But yeah.
Or his trunk.
And then, of course, Timothy falls in as well, and they both kind of have their little drunk sequence, which is much more innocent, knowing what's going on. But here's the thing: when we were kids, our parents don't drink, and I think we knew what being drunk was like, but I really don't think I understood what was going on.
No,
I didn't understand they were getting drunk. I was like, what's happening? Why are they acting so weird?
Yeah, I didn't fully grasp. I was like, they were drugged somehow.
It's like something just happened to them. It had something to do with the water.
It's not good. It created evil elephants who then turned into clouds
pyramids
at the end.
So many weird parts of elephants on parade. Do you have a favorite one?
Bum bum. Bum bum. The ice skating part, maybe?
The ice skating part's pretty good.
Or I like the belly dancer.
Belly dancer.
And then
it becomes his belly. Doesn't the belly turn into something?
Yeah. It's weird.
There's a lot of weird parts of that.
It's weird. They actually they were starting on a surrealist short as well.
You can watch it on
shortly
Disney
after.
Plus.
Now you can watch it. They finished it later.
I didn't enjoy that either.
That is also really weird.
Yeah.
I kind of enjoyed Pink Elephants.
Yeah. It wasn't scary. Again.
Oh, it wasn't scary.
No, it wasn't as scary, but it's still weird. It's still a bizarre thing.
It's like, what the heck?
I find it interesting that it is lumped in with all the other villain songs, kind of.
Yeah.
In Disney's canon, and I think there's a reason for that. It's because every child was like, this is not right. Whatever just happened, that's not right.
Yes, absolutely. I agree with that. But, I mean, it is sort of an important plot point, because it gets us to our next destination, and I don't know how they would have gotten us there. I mean, I guess Dumbo could have ran away, but I think he gets drunk in the roller book.
Oh, I don't know. I have no idea.
Maybe not. I can't remember now.
I think he just runs away in the roller book. Sick of being made fun of. Sick of being with the clowns.
Why didn't they just have him run away?
I don't know.
They had to put some weird surrealist parody.
They just wanted to try out several different ways of elephants.
You know, I'm glad we have elephants on parade.
Yeah, it was really important. We couldn't have had it. We couldn't have had Heffalumps and Woozles without it. And I love Heffalumps and Woozles.
You do?
I mean, it's creepy too, but it's more playful, I would say, than elephants. Like, as a kid, I was like, this is scary, but also it's played for laughs.
Yeah, you can think that if you want.
Okay, anyway, I'm right. And and you're wrong. Let's just move on. Just kidding.
But then we get to the really controversial part of Dumbo.
Yeah. Well, we skipped over one controversial part, actually.
Oh, yeah,
because we didn't talk about the roustabouts. It's roustabouts, right?
Yeah, I guess I don't even like that song very much anyways. I guess.
Well, it always kind of was very, like, oppressive sounding.
It is oppressive sounding.
Yeah, it's when they're putting up the tent at the beginning.
I'm honestly not sure what I was supposed to think, like, during that song. Like, what were they trying to get?
Because there were some playful parts with, like, Dumbo and stuff when he's, like, using his little hammer and stuff.
The music's very dark.
Yeah, it is.
And the lyrics are not good.
No, because it's a bunch of workers who are all... who don't have faces, and they're all black characters.
Singing about how they can't read or write.
But they're happy,
and they just work all day.
Helpful roustabouts.
But it seems almost...
I don't know. It's supposed to be jolly, I think.
Jolly?
Don't you think? But it doesn't come across that way because it's a little uncomfortable.
It's like raining and storming.
Yeah, I know, but they're like... We're happy, helpful roustabouts. That's what the words say.
They're singing that, but it seems...
it's like a work song.
Ironic, or what's satirical?
Maybe.
Almost. I don't know.
Anyways,
but
not good for him.
No,
not good for him.
And same with the crows. So, the crows are...
A controversial point.
Yes, a controversial point.
To put, yeah.
We've had a hard time knowing what to say about this part. This is the third time we've recorded it.
Third time's right. Actually, we re-recorded this whole session because Jonah detected a slight reverb through the whole room.
Which may still be here, because I think I'm still hearing it in this room.
Now that we brought it up, it's all you'll be able to hear, because apparently that's all Jonah can hear.
I don't know why it's here. We're recording in the same room, same microphone, so... Oh my gosh. It was driving me crazy.
Anyway, hopefully it's gone. But yeah, this is our third time on this one. So here are the good things that I see about the crows. First of all, I like that from what I read, they used the Jackson brothers, which was a black dancing duo of brothers. They based the dance moves of the crows off of them, which I think is great. They kind of went, they
wanted to have some authentic period dance moves.
Exactly. So I like that. I also like that they used the Hall Johnson choir group
for a lot of the voices,
which was,
right?
Yeah, which was also a black choir group to do the voices of a lot of the crows. But that's where we start having problems.
Is the main crow is voiced by
Cliff Edwards.
Cliff Edwards, who was the voice of Jiminy Cricket, who is not...
Who's white.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so they've made the head crow not... I think they should have gotten a black
Yeah, no,
voice
that's
actor for
definitely
that.
not good.
Especially when they were doing a caricature of...
Yeah, doing this stereotype of black band kind of culture.
Yeah, kind of a black band culture.
Yeah, and the other problems that we can see is that the crows are the first characters that we kind of see who are unemployed and kind of just hanging out in the trees.
Yeah. So that's that's one of the things that people point out as not a great representation.
Yeah, representation. Yeah. And then also the song was written in dialect.
Yeah. So it has a lot of that stereotypical language in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That being said, the crows are probably the smartest characters in...
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, Timothy Mouse comes up with the grand pyramid idea,
yes.
which
that didn't work.
Did not go well.
Well, and they're the only characters all throughout this. People are making fun of Dumbo all throughout, and none of them are apologetic. None of them can see his humanity. And then Timothy Mouse stands up and says, "You guys shouldn't make fun of Dumbo because he's just a little guy trying to make his way through this world," you know, kind of thing. Yeah. And they're really touched.
Yeah, they're the only ones to take what they say back.
Yeah, they take it to heart and they go, "You know what, you're right." And they turn around and they help him and they end up giving him the tools to be successful.
Yeah.
So in that way, they're incredibly positive.
Yeah, and they probably play the biggest part in the film other than Dumbo. I mean, Timothy Mouse really doesn't get Dumbo anywhere.
Yeah.
Really. Except for he motivates him and he makes him feel better.
Except for he's kind. He makes him feel better. He keeps him going.
But the crows are the only ones who really, help him out of the situation.
Right, that's true. I guess Timothy puts it together, but doesn't he? Isn't he the one that's like, a little bit. You can fly?
And he motivates him at the end. He's like, "No, you don't need your feather to fly," because he drops his feather.
But the crows give him the magic feather.
The crows give him the magic feather.
To help him discover it.
So anyways, the crows, they definitely made a lot of mistakes.
Well, first of all, naming one of the Jim...
we didn't even talk about that.
Yeah. Which, Jim Crow, there's those laws that were not great in the South right after the Civil Wars that were called the Jim Crow laws. And so, whether or not it was intentional, it probably was not a good name to name the crow. Yeah. On IMDb, if you look up the main crow, it says... he's the Dandy Crow, which they also call him Dandy, but they also call him Jim. So
we don't know if it's intentional or not.
But that's another thing that a lot of people point at as poor form.
So there were a lot of mistakes made with these crows, and obviously we can't just excuse those, but we wanted to talk about it in some way because it never helps to just not talk about it.
Yeah, or ignore that it happened, right?
Yeah. So... Yeah. I mean,
hopefully we've learned.
At this point, Disney had a long way to go, and they still have a ways to go, and so do all of we. And I think we all need to work and educate ourselves and try to become better human beings who see people and not
race or creed or anything like that. Just love each other. I mean, isn't that what Dumbo's all about? Really? I mean, it should have been all about. It's all about not judging someone based on their appearance, but on. With what they're capable of doing and the specialness that is in everyone.
Yeah. So, I think we can all make a little bit more of a conscious effort to do that.
I think so too. Yeah, and Dumbo ends up being successful, of course.
Then the movie ends right after.
I know. Honestly, it feels like it's Baby Mine and then it's over.
It really does.
Yeah. Yeah. So you have Baby Mine, all that stuff, and then it's straight back to the clowns with their crazy tall tower. Oh my gosh. It's too tall. Why did they do that?
I don't know. They were insane. Because their pay was going to go up 100 times.
100 times.
For every story, it was going to go up even more.
Oh my gosh. But I have to say that I definitely thought this end sequence, I was surprised it was so short because I remembered it being such a bigger thing. He gets the magic feather and it felt like he used the magic feather much longer.
Yeah.
I guess I had a wrong perception, but I thought he used it for a long time, and then it's taken away, and he's like, I can't do it.
The magic feather seemed like a lot more of a thing when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And maybe that's because, kids have those little knickknacks, that, I need to have that, otherwise, I don't feel comforted or whatnot. But for me, now, it definitely felt like there was not enough time for the feather to become a thing. for me to be worried when he lost it.
Exactly. And maybe it's just because... Sorry. Maybe it's just that when you're a kid, you don't quite get all the, like, the wink wink, like, oh, here's the magic of feather, right?
Yeah.
And so you really think it's magic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, totally.
So maybe it was that. And then when it's taken away, you're like, he can't fly.
Yeah. Wow. We should do like a 31.
He can't fly. Purple. No,
Mary.
Just kidding. But yeah, so he takes a big long victory lap after he starts flying. And that must have been like the best day. Even though the circus master got like hit with peanuts, doesn't he like pick up peanuts and like shoot them at the different... Yeah.
Another wartime reference maybe, yeah, the machine gun, yeah. But even though he kind of like shot through the circus must have also been going like, this is the best day of our lives. Yep.
We literally have a flying elephant.
Yep, and then we go straight there to the last scene of the movie.
Yeah.
Where they're like, next thing he's off to is Hollywood, which is funny because
they made a movie.
They watched and
everyone's changed their tunes. All the elephants are like, yay, an elephant's flying. And Dumbo's mom has her own little train car. But yeah, I think the reason I remember Dumbo is because it had a very clear message.
Yeah.
You know, like the first two movies of Disney, beautiful, but there's not like a clear message of something that you should do, whereas I feel like Dumbo was like almost a morality tale, right? Where it's kind of like, you have something special within you.
I get what you're saying.
And don't judge others. Don't tell me I'm wrong.
Dumbo's like a morality tale, but I'm pretty sure Pinocchio literally is a morality tale.
You know what? Actually, I would agree with you. I guess there is like the don't lie or...
So, don't lie. Don't do stupid things. Don't trust strangers.
I don't know. I guess I just thought Dumbo had that strong message of like, don't judge others.
Yeah. I guess so. It's less follies of like a child who doesn't know much about the world, and more like
something you feel
mistakes
like you can do.
All fall into at times.
Like, yeah, I need to not make fun of elephants' ears, and you know.
Yeah, I did that once, and I felt bad about it.
I did that once. Felt really bad about that elephant. Cried and cried.
Can you imagine like some kids watching Dumbo, and then his ears come out, and he's just like. Like that kid who saw
Instead
him.
of everyone else's reaction was just,
oh, so cute.
He's so cute. But yeah, that's Dumbo. Pretty much, right?
Yeah.
So how, in your rating, Jonah, all in all, did it hold up?
I mean, there are gems in this movie, parts that are really good.
Yeah.
There are a couple parts that made me feel a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
The crows and the roustabouts. And then there's a couple things where I felt like it moved maybe a little too fast.
Yeah.
And so I guess in conclusion, I would say maybe not entirely. Like I liked it, but not as magical, not as good as I thought it was when I was a kid.
It was very hard after watching the roustabout bit. I was like, what's happening? Because here's the thing. I had never like listened to the words of that song at all.
But we had the subtitles.
The subtitles on, and I was like, I am uncomfortable. So yeah, I think that some parts definitely didn't age well. And then I also think that, like you said, it went really fast. Like, I remembered it being so much more epic as a kid, because, like, 15 minutes is like an hour when you're a child, so
yeah,
it just all feels longer.
That might be one of the reasons why you might have liked it more as a kid.
Because it was so short, and it just felt...
The story's very succinct.
Yeah.
Minus pink elephants.
Minus pink elephants, which, yes, I remember feeling very long. And so, yeah, I would say overall, I didn't really feel like it held up, but there are, like you said... some really beautiful gems, like Baby Mine, and basically everything with Jumbo and his mother.
Yeah.
Dumbo and his mom. Yeah. I thought was beautifully done.
Yeah. You know, it's more good than bad. Pretty much all the way up to the roustabouts I really like.
I love the storks too. Yeah. Super great.
So now you know our thoughts, but we want to hear yours.
Yeah. Which animal do you like of all the baby animals?
Yeah.
Is it like kangaroo, the sassy kangaroo, or...
Yeah.
Could be any of those.
What are your thoughts on The Crows?
Exactly.
Yay or nay?
Was Dumbo your favorite movie growing up? How's it hold up now?
I don't know. Can you fly with your ears? If you can, please let me know.
Please let us know. We would like to represent you. But anyway, you can send all of your thoughts, feelings, impressions, etc. to our email at realrecollectionspodcast@gmail.com. That's real spelled REEL.
Yeah, you can also check out our website. It's new.
And
it works.
It works. If you type it in, it comes up. The episodes are on there.
We may be trying to change the URL for it, but right now it's Real Recollections Podcast at...
No, .com. That's it. That's all you have to put in.
You don't need to do the dot...
Nope. Whatever. You just put in realrecollectionspodcast.com.
Okay.
And it'll take you there.
Now we talked about it so long, you're probably not going to forget, so you should go check it out. Although, there's not going to be anything on there except for our podcast.
Our podcast.
And a brief introduction. We're
going to put some more content up there.
Okay, we're going to put some stuff there. Mary says. Mary says.
But we also, in our notes, we're putting all of the books and...
That's right.
all the books and documentaries, anything like that we have used to kind of put together the podcast. We've tried to compile as many of those as we could so you can go check them out.
Yep.
Yeah. But you can also check us out on Twitter and Facebook by looking up Real Recollections.
Send your thoughts, and shout out to Thomas for being our first person to send us anything.
Oh, yeah! We got an email from Thomas!
That was amazing!
We're like, people listen to this show?
Honestly, Mary and I were like, I don't even know if we're gonna do the next one. And then we put up our first thing, and Thomas emailed us, and we're like, we don't even know him!
We have to keep going for Thomas!
So, Thomas, I dedicate this episode to you.
But if you did like the podcast, please leave us a review on wherever you watched it. Spotify, Stitcher, whatever it was, Apple Podcasts. If you liked it, that's the best thing you can do for us, is just leave us a review.
Yeah. All right, this part's already gone on for too long.
But we love you guys. Have a wonderful week.
And take care. Goodbye.
Goodbye.